Good evening, and again, being kept awake, or maybe I've done it to myself. I shouldn't have had that cake. Chewy, what are you doing? What? Do you want to say hello? Want to say hello? Come on, come here. Come on. Got a little friend with me tonight, and he's called Chewy. It's like a little Chewbacca. Say hello, hello, hello everybody, hello. He should be fast asleep by now, but he's wide awake. Say hello. Okay, and he wants to do a tower with me, so okay. I'll go get some water then. Oh, what you been doing? You okay? Chew, what you had? You okay? Yeah? I think he's been, just was in the garden, so I think he's just been eating some grass. You okay? Yeah? Okay. So yeah, so I'm drawn to When Women Had Wings deck, and also my Angels deck. And just split the deck and this card. This card came out straight away. And the song that I've had playing in my head since getting my bath was the Unstoppable by Sia, is it? You know, if you've been following me, you'll know that I get messages through twin flame telepathy, and you know, telepathy from my angels and spirit guides. That's how they come through to me, you know. That's one of the ways that they come through to me, but there's many other ways. So yeah, Unstoppable by Sia. You know, this song to me, it's like an anthem, isn't it? It's like a mantra. Like, I'm unstoppable, I'm a Porsche with no brakes, you know. So that's like going full steam ahead, but you know, not stopping. And that's what this path is like, you know. If you've been on the twin flame journey, spiritual awakening also, it's, yeah, you feel unstoppable on it, you know. After you come through it, you certainly do feel like nothing can stop you because you've been through the worst. So this card, first card, Five of Swords. Yeah, when you're behind this Five of Swords and you're in despair and you feel defeated, and you know, you feel imprisoned by these swords. So meaning, you know, thoughts in your own mind and your ego mind and other people's projections on you on this path and judgment. Yeah, it's not a very nice place to be. You okay, Chewy? It's not a nice place to be in. But you know, other people's projections and judgments is the least of your concerns when you're spiritually awakening and you're going through the Kundalini rising and the dark night of the soul. You know, that's the least of your worries on this path. You get from all angles. Yeah, it doesn't help. Of course it doesn't help when people are judging you for your experiences and your truth, you know. But that's the obstacles on this path, and that's what builds you up to be so strong, you know, Porsche with no brakes. And that is what keeps you going, because yeah, you do become unstoppable. And that's not coming from an ego, because your ego, once you get through this path, is balanced. It's part of it, you know, is to balance the ego out. So I'll just get back to the automatic writing that came out. So this song to me means picking yourself up. Hello. Say hello. He loves sitting on this table. Cools him down. So if he sits on it, don't mind him. I'll work around him. But go careful there. Go careful. Put obstacles in the way. A bit like my twin flame path. What are you doing? Yeah, he loves this too. It cools him down, so when he gets too overheated, he'll either sit on top of it or he'll go underneath it. Watch the crystals. Don't eat my crystal. So this song, yeah, picking yourself up and pushing through obstacles and hiding the pain, you know, from others. Yeah, you know, I've been in this pain. I've been there many years on this path. It's not a overnight path, you know. It's not I can fix this in 2 minutes. No, it's a journey of long journey of you know self-healing and yeah, going into places, you know, you need to go to get from behind these 5 absurds, you know, to get from behind the defeat, the defeat and the judgment and yeah, everything that you face on this path, because you know you're classed as different, you know, and he wants to play with his ball now. It's wide awake. Mind you, I can't say nothing, can I? I'm wide awake. But yeah, you're classed as, well, I've come across all sorts on this path, lots of judgment and yeah, witch and voodoo, all of that. Through no fault of my own, you know, I can't help being who I am. I can't help this path that I'm on. It was chosen for me. And yes, you might see one for fur appearing up on my my videos, and that's because it's an angel number that's just followed me around from the beginning, and that's a number of the chosen one. You know, it's frequency of chosen ones, and do you know the funny thing about this path is all the judgment and all the projections that other people put on you, because you are that mirror. You hold a mirror to them, so it's something about inside themselves that you reflect back to them that they don't like, and you trigger them. That's part of my path. Many things. Being a chosen one, it is. It's not a straightforward path. You know, you've got many past lifetimes. You're an ancient soul. You've been here a long time. You know, yeah. You're meant to wake people up. You're meant to shake people up. You know, you're meant to, because I can see beyond this realm. You know, I can see beyond the veil that's been lifted for me. I've done the work. Not just, you know, expected spirit to guide me every step of the way, although they do, very protected and very guided. But you have to do the work, you know, to get yourself from behind these 5 absurds. It does not come easy. This path is not an easy path. So yeah, the song. Let's get back to the song. Bit of automatic writing coming out tonight for us. Hello. So yeah, it's about picking yourself up and pushing through these obstacles, pushing through these 5 absurds, finding that strength to push through no matter what. And you know, resilience, inner strength, warrior spirit, no matter what, you know, you feel inside, you know. So you might feel vulnerable, and you do feel very vulnerable on this path of ours, because like I said, it is not just a straightforward path. Being a twin flame, and a divine feminine twin flame at that, I am the seer. I am the one that can that has the knowing of this connection more so than, you know, the divine masculine in this connection. I am the seer. I can see beyond this realm, and I have that connection to spirit. And yeah, the divine feminine energy, I mean, not the gender. I just happen to be divine feminine gender also. But yeah, this is very unconventional path. It's full of heartbreak. It's full of confusion. It's full of frustration. It's full of other people's projections onto you. It's full of judgment. It's full of all that. And why it is full of all that, it's to make you so resilient, so strong, to bring that warrior spirit back to you, because you already have that warrior spirit inside of you. You know, that is why you are one of God's chosen ones. As drastic and as woo-woo as that sounds to some people, it's all real. And when you are on this path, you know it's real. And you cannot be persuaded by anybody other, you know. You have steel faith, you know. And this is this song as well. It's like steel, you know. You get so strong. You're like steel. And that faith is just, yeah, it's just superhuman, you know. It's yeah. And when your gifts and your spiritual gifts start returning to you, you know, that faith just strengthens, you know. But yeah, so the vulnerability, the lyrics. So I break down, only alone I will cry out loud. So that meaning, you know, you are unstoppable, but it does not make you emotionless, you know. People might see me as really, really strong, and I've broke through every obstacle that I've ever faced. That's before the spiritual awakening also. So, you know, I had that strength there all the time, but the spiritual awakening and the twin flame path, it's another level, you know. The twin flame path especially, it's one of the hardest spiritual awakening paths, and that's an understatement. But yeah, does not make me emotionless. That just because I've built myself up that strong and resilient, and I have now found emotional boundaries, you know, after being put behind these 5 of swords by judgment and people's projections of me because they're not on my path. I've now found emotional boundaries and inner strength. So, but you know, in private, I've cried a lot, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I've cried, like, yeah, my heart was breaking, because it does on this path. Your heart breaks because it's meant to. Why? Because you're breaking down, you know, to be broke open, basically. They are breaking you down to break you open, to break away, you know, break out of these swords. Nobody wants to stay in this, and this is where I've been on my knees. You know, when I'm behind these 5 of swords, I've been on my knees many times on this path. But I thought I couldn't get up again. Didn't want to get up again. Just wanted this path to be over, you know, because, yeah, twin flame path, it's another level. So, you know, in private, yeah, I've acknowledged my pain. I've also brought compassion to myself and forgiveness to myself, and, you know, love back to myself on this journey. And that's what this journey is about. And they're saying do another card now. So let's get another card. Woo! That's far too many. Let's have a look. Far too many. But yeah, unstoppable. That song just kept coming through. And the hermit came out. Yeah. When you are put in this position behind the 5 of swords, feeling all this pain, all this frustration, angry also. You get very angry on this path. Angry, you know, why the path is happening to you, and why you have to feel this much pain. As you can see, this card, it's pain. You know, this lady, yeah, it's pain. But this path takes you into hermit. You become the hermit. So you go into this solitude and isolation, and you go away from people, friends, family, and and it's not as if you're taking yourself away from them. Spirit takes you away from them. Why? Because in the hermit mode, in that isolation, in that stillness, that is where you can heal. You can go into, you know, into these 5 of swords. You can go into all, you know, the ego and mind, the pain, the anger, the immersions. This is the place where you go to heal all of that. Yeah, in stillness comes healing, you know. You can't heal properly, you can't do the deep introspection work, the deeper levels of immersions, you know, that you've been hiding, not just for this lifetime, but many lifetimes. You know, if you're an old soul like me, there's lots of layers to get through, you know. But it's all to do with, you know, your liberation. This transformation is your liberation, you know. And there's always that light. I've always kept my eye on the light, even when I was in this, you know. This to me reminds me of the dark night of the soul period, where you just feel defeated, you feel beaten down, you feel you can't get off your knees, you feel these emotions just like a tidal wave just swamping you daily, you know. And this period can go on, not to scare anybody or put fear into anybody. It can go on for some time, you know. Deep introspection and healing takes time. It's not an overnight act. Not to do the work, not to truly, you know, find this light, but not the light that, you know, is guiding you out of this. It's to find the light inside yourself. You know? So transformation leads to liberation. But yeah, you know, it's a path and half. So yeah, the lyrics. So let's get to, so in private you acknowledge your pain, but in public you carry on and you don't let it stop you. You know, the spirit can be tested but never broken. Yeah, I've been tested no end on this path. I've been tested by family, friends, outsiders, tested by my angels, spirit team, you know, all of that. Why? Because it's breaking you down to break you open. It's breaking you down to go into all of this, to heal it, to find that light, you know. You don't stay in the hermit, you will merge out of that once you've done the healing. So they're saying get another card. Chewy's settled now, bless him. I think he thinks I'm sleeping down here tonight. Certainly not. I need my bed. Yeah, strength. Strength just flew out. Oh, and another card. Oh, just came out. Let me have a look. Maybe that just popped. So strength. Strength just flew out. Yeah, yeah. So what this path's about. It's about finding your strength. It's about now I am coming out the other end of it. And you know, I've experienced all of what this path was about. I do know now it's about finding your inner strength, your inner resilience, your warrior spirit that's always been inside of you. But you had to go into this to find it. And you had to feel all of this. I always said as well, you can't go around it, you have to go through it. And yeah, going through the Five of Swords is no easy feat, you know. But when you do, when you've gone into this and you've gone into that stillness and that healing, and you're seeing more and more light leading you out of this, that is when this knowing returns to you, your strength. But not the strength you knew before as the human self. You also have that spiritual strength. Because you've done the work. You've dared to go into these Five of Swords where nobody wants to go. Nobody wants to go into these deep hidden emotions of ourselves, into this dark, dark cave, and that's what it feels like. It's like a dark cave, and you don't know if you're ever coming out of that cave. You do see little bits of light inside it. That's because you're doing the work, you know. And then that light gets a little bit brighter, brighter and brighter. So these swords get less and less. And then that is when your strength, your human strength, but also your divine strength, because you are the both, you know, you are human and you are soul. That is what we are. We are human and we are soul. We are the two. That is when you find your human strength and your divine strength. It all makes sense when you come out the other side of this journey. So I shall ask anyone. So yeah, so unstoppable. What does it mean to you? You know, so what it means to me. Well, no, this line I want me to speak about first. The line, I don't need batteries to play. So this means I don't depend on external validation, you know. So you may have heard me speak about, I don't look outside of myself. I look inside of myself. Now, the old Ellie used to look outside for validation and for, what's the other word? Not appreciation. No, not appreciation. Help me out, spirit. Yeah, validation from others, you know. I don't. Since I found this strength, since I've healed, you know, from behind those 5 of swords, I've dared to go where not many people will dare to, but dare to go. I look inside because I know that this path has been about looking inside of myself all along, because it was all there all along. So yeah, I don't need batteries to play. No, that means looking inside for your own strength and your own willpower, not looking outside of yourself to others to validate that for you. So, you know, after going through this journey, it means to me, I took my power back, and I kept getting chaos. I was doing a meditation yesterday, I think it was, yesterday morning, and I kept seeing chaos, like, well, you know what chaos is, like swirling, like it was like not a tornado exactly, but I just kept getting the word chaos coming through. But through that chaos, they were saying to me, the calm, you have found the calm. And I've wrote down here from the automatic writing, I took my power back in the chaos to find my peace and strength. Yeah, you know, when you find your peace, you can't put a price on that, and nobody can shake that for you ever again. Why? Because you've got this strength inside of you, and you know, nobody can, you don't need that validation from others to know that you've got this strength inside of you. And from that comes peace, you know, because, yeah, I'm not relying on anyone else to bring me happiness, to validate me. I'm not relying on others to navigate my life. You know, once I found this strength behind these 5 of swords, and I did the work, many years of solitude, very, very lonely I was. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's a very, very isolating, lonely path. and, you know, chosen ones. I don't label myself as that, but I do know that, yeah, the signs and all point to that. And because of the path, and because of how hard my path has been, extremely brutal path. Yeah, I don't need no outside external validation anymore. I know my own strength. I know myself. I know this path. I know who I am. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be going with all this knowledge I've gained and strength. And yeah, my spirit guides and my angels know this about me also now. How I know that? Because I've gained all this sacred knowledge. It's all come back to me, you know. So the spiritual super gifts that come back to you, you know. Yeah, I've just split the deck. This card, justice. That's how I know it. Because the scales have been balanced. Justice. I've got justice for all that I have been through. And it isn't about validation, because that isn't my justice. My justice is the scales have been balanced. I'm not in this anymore. I never thought I'd get out of this at one point. And I'm talking years. I never thought I'd get out from behind these 5 of Swords. I honestly did not. But because I dared to go into this hermit and deep solitude, and I dared to be on my own. You know, being on your own is quite a scary prospect, isn't it? Not some people don't like to be on their own. I was one of them. I always liked a little bit of time for my yoga practice and things like that, but I was never content in being on my own. Now, wow, I love solitude. Why? I was on my own for many years in this hermit, searching for my light, behind these 5 of Swords, doing the work in this deep dark cave called the Dark Night of the Soul, behind these swords, not wondering whether ever I was going to get out. I did, eventually, found my strength, found that inner peace, found a lot more beside that, and justice came. Because I'd balanced the scales, because I'd done this work, many years of healing, daily practice of going into this 5 of Swords and this hermit. But I did it to balance the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies out in myself. Then that brought justice to me, and you know, to not validation, but it brought more of a knowing, you know, back to myself, and my family and friends also know that because, you know, they don't get my path, that does not mean a difference to me at all. I'm too strong now. I'm on this path no matter what. Why? Because it was chosen. It was a chosen path for me. It was written in the stars a long time ago. And yeah, the scales of justice have balanced out for me, totally. But yeah, you know, my family and friends love me regardless to my path. I'm not saying they've always understood it, because that would be a lie. They haven't, but who can? It's my path. It's not for others to understand, it's for me to understand. And as long as I understand it, that is all that matters. And also the seeing now the impact of this path that I have on others. And I always said it wasn't for me, it wasn't just for me to heal, it was so that I could help others. on their journey. It was bigger than me. It's always been bigger than me. It was always meant to be bigger than me. And the Fool card came out. I love this card. It's one of the most beautiful cards in this pack. So the Fool. The Fool's this journey. The Fool is totally this journey. So this is the start of a new journey, you know, taking that leap into the unknown, not knowing where you're going to end up. You just tip your toes off this little cliff or whatever, you know, she's stood on, but yeah, she's just willing to go into this long journey, you know, to go into the unknown. That's this stage. That is the unknown. When you go into the Hermit, you are going into the unknown, and you're going into it on your own. Solitude. You're on your own at this stage. You're on your own at this stage also, behind the Five of Swords. You're meant to be. Why? Because when you're on your own, that's where you find your strength. You can't find your strength with others. They are building you up so strong. They, being spirit and angels and your spirit guides and ancestors, they are building you up so strong. God's warriors, known as the 144 frequency. Why? Because you're getting ready. You are getting ready, you know, for the scales of justice to balance out. Why? Because, let me pull the next card. They're saying, this is just makeshift, but you know, it does, doesn't it? So they're getting you ready. Let's have a look. Yeah, I knew that card was coming. It was at the bottom of my pack. You see this lady looking out throughout the Two of Wands, and she's looking out to, well, the horizon, isn't she? Looks like she's about to take this long journey into the unknown. I'll just get the can't find it. Just found the words for this. But yeah, Two of Wands. I knew that was going to come out. I should have said it. But yeah, never mind. It was just staring at me. Skillful planning. Foresight. Courage. Daring. Choosing to set out in a new direction. Seeing a situation from a high perspective. Using one's inner sight and intuitive sense to seek new possibilities and solutions. Developing a clear plan for action after discovering what you want to achieve. Yeah, the Two of Wands, they're getting you ready. It's preparation. You know, it's bringing that courage into you, and that, yeah, daring to set out on this new direction. You know, and there's many directions on this path. There's many details on this path also. Yeah. You're getting ready to go in a new direction, you know, especially when you've come through and you found all your strength and you've balanced those scales of justice out for yourself. You're getting ready to finally step into what this journey's been getting you ready for, you know, all this pain and building you up so strong that you'll never break again, no matter what. And you won't. Once you go through that night of the soul, you're alchemizing. You're an alchemist. You're alchemizing all of this Five of Swords pain, traumas, wounds, ego mind. You're balancing the ego mind out. You don't eradicate it. The ego belongs with us, you know. It coexists with us. It's part of us. But what you have done is you've balanced it, you know, those scales of justice, you've balanced it out. But yeah, the dark night of the soul, once you go through that and you alchemize all of that, they're getting you ready for this. They're getting you ready for your 10 of Pentacles. Getting you ready for your community, your wolf pack. Look at this. That's what you're coming into. Your 10 of Pentacles, abundance, and that doesn't just mean material, but this card, yeah, it's all about the Pentacles. It means happiness, joy, love, community, family, you know, all of that. They're building you up so strong to know yourself, truly know yourself, you know, not the self you was before, but the divine within. That is what you took this journey for. And you know, as a twin flame journey, this card came out. And yeah, this journey, it's a journey back to your wings. You know, the reading that's coming soon. Take these broken wings, learn to fly again, learn to be so free. Yeah. When you fix these broken wings in yourself, both of you, if you're a twin flame, wow. You know, this connection, this union comes together. Union in self, the divine in self. Then this connection, union in this connection, whatever that connection may be for you, you know, because we are all different. And it's not romantic. It might be for some twin flames. I can't speak for them, but our journeys are all different, you know. So I'll just read a bit of the cards for the lovers. So that is called the lovers, but you know, my journey, my unconventional twin flame journey, it is just that. And mine is about an unbreakable connection and a spiritual connection and a human connection, you know, the human and the spirit combined. It is all about that, but it's not romantic. So the lovers and love, you know, love comes in many forms. It's not just romantic. And that's what this path also teaches you as well. Love comes in many forms. Let's have a look. The lovers. And I can find it. Am I not supposed to find it? There we go. Communion, partnership, a loving union of opposites. Yeah, divine feminine, divine masculine. It's about bringing those two energies in self, in complete harmonic balance. Then when you do that, you bring this connection into complete harmonic balance. So sharing transformational power, reciprocity, love and romance. Yeah, it can be. Attraction, magnetism, lust, chemistry, harmony, synergy. Two energies swirl and dance together. Yeah, like Shiva and Shakti, you know, I've come across them on my path. Why? Because there was the divine feminine and the divine masculine coming together in the cosmic dance, you know, a union, that harmonic balance. So the mystic bond of familiar souls. Poetry, art, music, dance as the inner soul lover and outer human body discover the love of each other, admiration and affection. The lover meeting the beloved can be a romantic interlude or a short fling due to the flame of desire. Mutual understanding, taking leaps and daring to be brave in the name of love leads to new discoveries of oneself and one's world. Yeah, it can be romantic, but then it can't be also. It can mean friendship. It can mean just what I've read out, you know. Each path is different. Each path. But what I do know, this path is it's about the union in yourself. It's about coming back to the knowing of what you go on this long journey for is already inside of us. And you get to the end and you think, are you kidding me? So it's like getting on the wrong bus. You know, I've done that many times, got on the wrong bus and I've ended right at the other side of town and I wanted to just be round the corner. And you think, oh, are you kidding? Yeah, it's like that. But without taking this journey and without, you know, the pain and the confusion and the detours and the misunderstanding from your family, your friends, you wouldn't find your strength. You wouldn't. You would just be, yeah, you would just be still. You know, you'd just be, well, I don't want to heal and I don't want to look deeper inside of myself because there's no need to. You're comfortable. This journey is a very, very worthwhile, magical, beautiful, frustrating, painful journey. But wow, when this wheel starts turning, the fortune's wheel starts turning, that's when you start getting momentum on this journey. You know, you start seeing fast forward movement and things changing, you know. Yeah, you start seeing your Ten of Pentacles is getting more and more closer, you know, to you. You know that you're heading for something so beautiful. Can't explain it. When I even in the darkest of times, behind these Five of Swords, I knew that I was there for a reason. Why? My soul knew it. My ancient soul knew it. I knew that Spirit was putting me in this place not to punish me, but to take this fool's journey to discover myself. And at the end of it, that was waiting for me. My Ten of Pentacles, and also union in self and in this connection. Very powerful connection. Very powerful. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there because little Chewy's asleep. Oh, I'm going to put him to bed and I'm going to go to bed. But yeah, Spirit is keeping me awake lately. I don't know if it's the salt bath that's waking me up, but I'm sure it's supposed to put you to sleep and relax you. Yeah, this song, just had to, you know, the automatic writing was flowing while I was in the bath. And chaos came to mind, and finding that strength even in the chaos. That's pure resilience, you know. When you're in chaos and everything seems like it's crumbling around you, to find that strength in the chaos, yeah, that's warrior spirit, you know. That is the spirit of a warrior, and yeah, chosen one. There, I say it, but you know, there's no coincidence that you're hearing more about Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, chosen ones. You know, we all can't be chosen ones, so how do we all know about it, you know? There's many that don't, the ones that are still asleep, but the chosen ones was meant to wake up. We're the way showers, we're the change makers. We are guiding the way for what's going on Earth at this moment, you know, the ascension. We was meant to know it. You know, but with that knowledge, well, say with power, don't they, you know, comes great responsibility. And yeah, you don't say, but you know, the angels are watching over us, and I've just split the deck on this. Our last message from the angels. The angels are watching over us at all times, and they certainly are on my path, for sure. I know they are watching over me, and I shall leave it there, and I'm going to put this little cutie to bed, and I'm going to go to bed myself, and so not too late tonight. I think it's only 2 o'clock, but never mind. Time is it non-linear? Non-linear. There's no such thing as time. It's an illusion. Yeah, I certainly don't think there is any all these days. Right, I'm going to go, and I shall say good night.